Well, we're halfway to Halloween, and Disney is ready to talk about it. They've shared some amazing details that we're going to talk about tonight. Also, the Magic Band Plus came out today, accidentally, apparently. We're talking about that, so much more tonight on ParksCenter. Welcome to ParksCenter for May 1st, 2022. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. If you have not before, please make sure to like this video because it helps people to find us, and subscribe to WDWNT for all kinds of great content. We put together a great panel tonight, and here they are. Miss Desi, how are you?
Hey, I'm great.
We got Allie from Disneyland.
Hello, how are you?
And from some undisclosed bunker, Eric Morton.
Hello, everybody. It's great to be here, Rob. Thank you.
You know what? Thank you guys for dressing up tonight. I wanted to go with a big theme for the Met Gala tomorrow night, so I really appreciate you guys coming in your Sunday best.
I shaved the beard for one skit.
Yeah.
And now I'm on like a show every night afterwards as it goes back in.
Don't lie, you love it. You love that look, and you want. Let's get a close up of that look. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, wow, so good, so good. All right. So,
if you want to see me dressed up, tune in for May the 4th.
Good point. Good point. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. A lot has happened. We last week had a great DVC discussion, and because of that, we didn't talk about any news. So we're basically catching up on 2 weeks worth of news. Hope you guys have some time on your hands. So for the next 90 minutes, it's just going to be all about news, including the Magic Band Plus. And you know, I'm a Magic Band addict. I think I've asked, except for Allie, who's in Disneyland, I think I've asked everyone on staff when there's a new Magic Band that comes out to please go get it for me. I have a problem with it. I admit it. Doesn't mean I want to stop. But now the Magic Band Plus is coming. I've been really excited and interested to see what that was going to be about. And I think that because of the tiers of pricing, you had the $14.99 one that they, was basically your base color one. And then you had the $24.99, the $29.99. The special edition ones or the limited edition ones were usually somewhere in the $40 range. And then the Dooney and Burks could be even higher. So we thought, this new Magic Band that's going to interact and light up and all that, it's got to be in the $80 range. And they released some photos of it back in the day. Now they've got this FCC filing that we were going to talk about how it works. And then they were talking about that you could actually collect some bounties in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. But then today, magically, they appeared. And our reporters were on it. They went and grabbed some from the world of Disney. We have this whole breakdown of how they work and all kinds of fun stuff. But apparently, Eric, they weren't supposed to be out. What the heck?
No, looks like they released them on accident. That happens from time to time. It's happened recently. I know a contemporary with some merchandise. But the unfortunate thing here is we still don't know a whole lot about what you can do with these because the instructions are, you go to a QR code that takes you to a website. And if you watch our video, you'll see you go to that website and you get stitched like 8th page. There's not a whole lot of information yet about what they're going to be capable of. We know you can hit it and it changes colors and it lights up. I'm not a Magic Band person. I don't wear them. I find it to be a little uncomfortable. Even though, I wear a watch sometimes. Sometimes I'll wear a smartwatch to the parks. Usually I just use my annual pass. I pull it out of my wallet, scan it, and that's good. But what would compel me to wear this, if I have to charge it, it'd be nice if it told time. That's my only complaint is if I'm going to have to charge it, it should tell time so it can be a watch, kind of a watch replacement. Now I'm just going to have to wear a watch plus this thing, I guess, if I want to take advantage of all these cool features. But they were removed from the shelves later in the day. Our reporters just happened to be there, walk by and see these today. So we were all pretty excited to see them come out, and then they were quickly removed. And my understanding is that they're even offering refunds to people that bought them, and now they have a non-functional Magic Band on them because they're not intended to be released for a couple more weeks, I think.
They're offering refunds for people who bought them? I don't get that.
Yeah, because the people can't do anything with them. It's just like they bought a brick, right? Yeah. So if you're here on vacation, don't think of it like a local Desi, right? As a local, you're like, oh, well, I'll just wait a couple weeks and it'll work. But if you're here on vacation, and you're intending to use it and it's useless and it doesn't perform any of the tasks that it's expected to perform, well, then I guess they're going to give you your money back. That's what, that's, Disney has not made an official statement on that. That's what the social media people have said.
Ah, the social media people. They will make everything clear all the time. Before we move on from this topic, because I do want to give everybody a chance to talk about it, I mean, the exciting thing to me, too, about Magic Band Plus is they're going to be available in Disneyland, too. So that's going to be a big shakeup in Disneyland. Are you looking forward to these coming to Disneyland Alley, or are you like, let's hold off as long as possible?
No, we've been wanting Magic Bands forever. It would make everything so much faster. Everything is on our phones. If your phone's not loading, if your Wi-Fi doesn't work, or whatever the problem is, the lines take forever. Like, they have had the technology up for in some of the places since before COVID hit, and like, let's just roll this out already. Like, we want Magic Bands. Let me give you guys money for Magic Bands. Like, we want it. Let's bring it.
Right.
Make everything faster.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do out there as far as interactivity, right? We already know that the golden statues are supposed to do something in Florida with interactivity. We know the touch points will probably do something. And you know what? Disney has played around with this technology for so many times. There was a thing called My Pal Mickey. Pal Mickey, anybody remember Pal Mickey? It was a thing that you would carry around, and it would actually interact with different points in the park that would basically set it off, and it would tell you about parade times, and he would tell you a joke, and he would tell you like a fact about the thing that you were near, and I loved it. And it was just kind of like a Build-A-Bear, and it had different clothes, and that was a really neat thing. But I guess it was, I don't know if the technology was not quite there yet, but they phased that out. And then there was like 100 years of magic button or pin that would interact with the shows, and when you walk by certain places, then of course the glow with the show stuff with the ears. And so I feel like this is just kind of like that natural progression of let's get this in people's hands, and at the same time have them have more reason to buy Magic Bands. I went to Shop Disney. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, shopdisney.com. It's where you get all of your Disney dreams, granted. But they have on there their Magic Band selection is like nothing. So I feel like this has been building to these eventually going away. And Desi, before we move on from this topic, I'll let you give your 2 cents about Magic Bands, or at least the Magic Band Plus.
I'm definitely going to buy one because I, like you, Rob, have a problem. And I'm interested to see what the interactivity is. I kind of wonder, I don't think it has like a speaker or anything. So whatever the interactivity is, I'm assuming you're going to tap it or it's going to recognize where you are based on Bluetooth or something. And
it's NFC.
Is that not something that's capable with Magic Bands today? Are we really just buying it because it glows and they're making you buy it to have the interactivity, but really the technology is there with the existing Magic Bands? I'm not sure.
Yes. No, I mean, who knows? I mean, Disney obviously knows.
It'll vibrate and do stuff like that. I don't know about making noises. It does operate on near-field communication. It's a powered device, so you would think that walking past that like now with just a little RFID chip, you have to hold it like right up against things for it to work and do anything. But with NFC, a little bit better range. And probably when you walk past these statues, who knows what's going to happen with these statues once it starts working. I was promised flying cars by now, though. It's 2022, and we've had Magic Bands and Glow with the Show and all this other stuff for a long time now, and here we're just kind of stumbling out of the gate with the next generation, another generation of Magic Band that is kind of an incremental upgrade, maybe.
Well, and they've been talking about it for a long time. And they keep saying coming later this year. So there must be something that's keeping them from rolling it out, whether it's that they want to roll it out at the same time on both coasts and maybe they don't have Disneyland where it needs to be yet. Who knows? But I was shocked at the $30 price tag. Anybody else think that's actually fairly affordable?
Doesn't it make you wonder how limited the feature set is going to be? Since we were all thinking they're going to be like $80, $90, $100, and they're only $29.99. It kind of makes me think that it's not going to be as feature rich as people had hoped.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I have LEs.
Price point an accident?
These LEs are, well, this one actually the green screen's messing with this one, but the LEs are actually like $40 each. And so you would think, and this doesn't really do anything other than it's just a magic band. So you would think that there would be. You're right. I mean, maybe Eric, maybe this is Magic Band Plus, and then there'll be Magic Band Plus Plus, and that's the one that you're really going to want. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what they do as far as varieties of these. You know, coming out with the base just being 3 colors: black, blue, and red. It's interesting.
And the pricing was sage. If you watch the video, it's like, you know, when you buy pins, it tells you what color. They can't just tell you the price. It's sage.
Yeah.
And
Oh
you
no,
gotta look at a chart.
we talked about that with DVC. They're always trying to make things super oh, it's 200 points. Well, how much is a point? Well, just don't worry about it. It's 200 points. Okay. All right, great. It's all
I
smoke
wonder
and
if
mirrors.
they just didn't have a chance to change Sage to a higher price point,
Possible.
and that
Possible.
$30 was an accident.
That could be a good point too. Maybe they will be more expensive when they come out. Who knows? But we had them today. If you want to read more about them, they're on the website wdwnt.com. Lots of information there. Everything we know about them, and more news to come, I'm sure. But I'm excited to see what happens with these. What's next? What they interact with, and how much the ones are going to cost if they put a picture of, like, Grogu on it. Because I'll probably buy it. It's going to be ridiculous. So let's move on to some Halloween news, which I thought was going to be the big news of the week, because they did their halfway to Halloween announcement extravaganza, and they announced a whole bunch of stuff, including the fact that something we weren't really sure was going to happen, the return of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And then we also have confirmation that Oogie Boogie Bash is going to come back. We figured that would be a thing. These characters on the cruise line, this is just perfect. Like, I don't know that I've seen anything that Disney has done in a long time that is just like just knocked out of the park like that. It's just perfect. These photos, I have thoughts on the ride photos that they have here. I think those are pretty cool. And then recycled popcorn buckets. So I'm gonna let you start, Desi. What do you want to start with on this? Are you excited about Halloween? Is that a big deal for you? I think you took a Halloween cruise last year, right?
Yes, we went on the Halloween on the High Seas cruise on Halloween last year, and it was so much fun. And when we saw this, the Hocus Pocus of Clarabelle, Minnie, and Daisy, I told my husband I would buy another cruise just to see that. That is adorable.
Maybe that's why they only put it on the cruise ship, is because they're gonna try to get your money.
Probably.
I'm surprised they didn't only put it on the Star Cruiser, Eric. Is that weird?
The cruise might be cheaper than tickets to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party this year. I agree. I've been on that cruise before several years ago, and I would do it again. I like the theming and stuff like that. I don't really go to these parties anymore since the price of the party ticket started eclipsing the price of a parks ticket. I'm kind of like, I'll leave that to the hardcore people that are here and want to spend a lot of money. I can't afford to do all those things, but I'm glad they're back. People love it. I know the Hocus Pocus. I don't remember the name of the Hocus Pocus stage show. I know people were crazy for that, and the cruise, but the cruise is my favorite news.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about the party is last year the Halloween bash that they threw at Disney World was one of these where it was an after dark thing. It was a limited edition ticket. They didn't do as many things as they normally did, and I think that we were all concerned, is this where they're going to set the bar moving forward? Meanwhile, over on the West Coast, I got to go to Oogie Boogie, and I don't think I've ever been to a cooler hard ticketed event. But Allie, let me ask you this. Do you think that people, because of how hard Magic Keys are to get, and we'll talk about that later, and because of how hard it is to get a park reservation, do you think that a lot of locals go to this because it's their chance to go into the parks, or just because it's awesome?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, the event is awesome. Last year was my first year going to Oogie Boogie, and it was phenomenal. Like, the Villains Grove alone was worth the price of admission. And at the moment, that was the only place that had parades. So, again, that was a huge draw for everybody. But I'm happy that the big party's coming back to Disney World. I'm happy for you guys. Everybody seems super excited about it. And those cruise, that would also make me want to go on a cruise. I have yet to do a Disney cruise, but rare characters, that would get me there. So, cool announcements.
Nice. All right, so Desi, this one's for you, though, because I know that you were kind of crestfallen when they took away PhotoPass from annual passes. With these new lenses and things, is this enough to make you want to go back if they continue doing stuff like this and paying for PhotoPass?
I already paid for the photo pass
Oh,
because
sorry,
I
excuse
am
me.
that girl. But
And you could be this
um,
girl now.
I mean, I could. Um, I I don't think that it's like enough. If you were on the edge about it, I don't know if it's enough to push you over into getting it. But if you're like me and you love photos anyway, then it's just a nice little extra perk to have.
Right, and I love the fact that this makes it like rewritability. Not that there's not rewritability for the Haunted Mansion, but that each time you might get a different ghost. Like, will it be
Right.
everyone's journey, especially Eric, because you love the Haunted Mansion? Will it be your journey to collect all three?
I don't look at me. Look at what's happened to me over the years. Do I look like someone who's going to seek out more people to take pictures of
More,
them? Come on.
you look like a guy who's always looking for a photo opportunity. That's what you look like. I will say though that while I'm excited about that, I'm not excited about the recycled popcorn buckets. I hope that somewhere along the way, I think that's just for the halfway to Halloween, right? We're hoping we'll see brand new ones once we actually get to Halloween. But I think that Jack Skellington one, while I love it, that's like this is the third incarnation of that one, and then it'll be neat that we finally, hopefully, we'll get some new stuff near the end of the year. They've done really cool like popcorn bucket stuff, sippers, things like that for Halloween in the past. I'm really hoping they bring their A game. Let's talk about this because this actually, I think this probably gave all of us a heart attack the way that most blogs reported it about that Space Mountain was permanently closing. Yeah, but the one in Tokyo, right? So like every blog I think said Space Mountain permanently closing. Click here. And so they are doing a new one in Tokyo, but here's what I find funny, and I don't know, I don't think any of it. Well, Desi, have you been to Tokyo?
I was supposed to go in 2020, and you can
Yeah.
guess how that went.
Um, Great, I'm guessing. So one of the things about this is that first of all, I think that Space Mountain the way it is iconic. But everything I've heard, Eric, I'm gonna throw this one to you because you hear from Mr. Corliss all the time. Everything I've heard when we praise Tokyo Disneyland is it's exactly the way that it's always been, and when you walk in, it's like walking into the past. And now they're gonna change one of the most iconic pieces of architecture in the park.
I don't have an inside source on this. I don't dismiss the possibility that maybe there's a structural problem with the building they have to hold.
Okay, fair.
I don't know. I know Japan's prone to earthquakes. Maybe they have some damage that they found during some inspections during the COVID lockdown. I don't know because it's kind of unheard of to demolish something that large and that big of a fixture of a park to just replace it with another version of itself. So it's surprising to me. I think it's great that they're doing it, making the investment. I I question whether or not they actually are doing it because they just want to do things the right way, or if they don't have a choice because if they want to refurbish it, it has to be up to standard that it can't meet right
Yeah, true. I mean, and again, I'm gonna throw this to Allie. If any park was ever going to demolish Tomorrowland and start over again, I feel like it should be Disneyland because of the forgotten, people mover track and how everything else is shoehorned in there. Like, I mean, do you look at this and go, yes, we want this in California? Or you go, nah, leave it like it is.
I mean, I don't necessarily want them to get rid of Space Mountain. I really like our Space Mountain, but the Tomorrowland at Disneyland needs a lot of help. It's just that old Carousel of Progress building just sits there and it's rarely used. The Finding Nemo subs have not reopened, and it is just a cluster over there. And yeah, Tomorrowland needs help. But I think that our Space Mountain is so iconic and really, really well done. It's a super fun ride. And I think Tokyo will do a really good job. That ride looks really good.
Yeah, man, Eric, I can't stop thinking about you must have hit like the nail on the head with this one that
now. Yeah.
it's got to be a structural thing for them to go to that
I
much
just
trouble.
thought of that too. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Well, and
Hopefully they're
again,
just as great as we think they are, where they're like, oh, it's just not good enough. We're gonna spend millions and millions of dollars to build something new.
Well, and honestly, when I saw this imagery, and again, before I realized it was Tokyo, I thought they were looking to redo ours in Florida so that it would actually match the Tron light cycle roller coaster because it looks
Oh,
Looks
like it
Tron-y.
would.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like it would fit in there perfectly with
yeah,
that. So,
it would.
it
with
Yeah.
does.
a reimagining of Tomorrowland, this looks like something that should be going in ours in Florida.
I
But again,
wonder if an Imagineer here came up with it for Florida, and we decided we didn't have the budget to do it. So then they pitched it over to Tokyo, and Tokyo was like, yeah, okay, we'll do it, since
well,
they seem to be more willing to spend money on things.
I was about to say that that sounds like every story we've ever been told about Tokyo Disney and the Disney company is that they went in and said, "Hey, yeah, we don't really, we can't really afford this," and they were like, "Bring it over here. We got you. We'll build it and we'll make it better and it'll be great." So, let's move on to the what I'm calling the Pixar Hotel.
And I'm sorry. Before we move on, I just want to say, Ali, I agree with you. Disneyland's Space Mountain is fantastic. Florida's Space Mountain is the coolest one from the outside. The one I'd be most upset to see demolished due to the architectural elements on the outside. The ride is not as good as Disneyland. I will grant you that, Ali.
Man, there's going to be a lot of times in this particular episode, Eric, where you're going to go, "Hey, you know what? I was just out to Disneyland, and you're right. It is better there." So pace yourself because you're going to have a lot more of those. Let's talk about this
As long
hotel.
as it doesn't have to do with the bathroom they've installed on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my God! Please, let's not.
Oh, jeez.
So, all right. So this is not exactly what we expected. We had some concept art about what this might look like, and the Paradise Pier Hotel is a hotel that they bought. They purchased it when they were expanding the Disneyland Resort, and it is definitely not a Disney hotel if you've been in it. But this new Pixar look, I'm really excited about. The Disneyland Hotel is the iconic one, even though it's not the original. I mean, they've rebuilt it over the years with the buildings, and then you've got the Grand Californian, which is amazing. And then the Paradise Pier Hotel has just been hey, we bought it. It didn't look half bad. We painted it yellow, and we put in beach ball pillows, and that was pretty much all we did. But when I look at this, it looks very exciting that they may do this. The first concept art that we had our hands on said it was going to be kind of a Toy Story hotel. This one looks like it's all encompassing of Pixar, and maybe even like the art of Marvel in Paris, the art of Pixar. And again, I'm going to go to Allie because you're the California gal. Do you feel like this is an exciting news, or you like, don't touch the Paradise Pier Hotel? Said no one ever.
Oh my God, please help that hotel. That hotel it just looks like an afterthought there in the background, and it needs a lot of help. Yeah, it just looks blah. I mean, there's like a sad pool up on the roof. There's like no fun restaurant or anything in there. There's no real reason to go over there unless you're staying there. They never do, like, I think one time they had a special drink over there that we had to go for, but I mean, Pixar looks super fun. It'll fit in with the area, and I think having its own entrance into DCA will be a perk for them as well. So that will make hopefully that hotel a little more valued at least.
And the PCH Grill, was that the name of the character experience? Is that closed? The character dining?
I don't think that ever reopened.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that,
I mean,
but
I've stayed at that hotel and I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay, but the problem is the Disneyland only has 3 hotels that are owned by Disney, so they're all super, 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 super expensive. So when you're staying here, it's like you're staying at the Caribbean beach, but you're paying for like Grand Flow, with something like this because they're so expensive. Eric, you went out there not too long ago. Did you stay at a Disney hotel?
I stayed at the Disneyland Hotel, which is just kind of my go-to.
Right.
I did. I have not stayed at Pixar at Paradise Pier. I've eaten there. I've visited friends there and seen their rooms. I don't think they fully described what type of reimagining the hotel is. For instance, are they redecorating everything, putting a coat of paint on it, and putting props around there? Are they going to tear this place down to the studs and fix plumbing issues and replace electrical? So who knows? My gut tells me it's probably more of a retheming, repainting, redecorating effort. But it is the least Disney feeling hotel of any Disney hotel I've been to. So that's great that they're finally addressing that and giving them a private entrance into the park.
The private entrance thing, yeah, that was the other thing I was going to talk about, because the very first time I stayed there, you could go downstairs, walk across the street, and in. Now it's like a labyrinth
Yeah.
to try to get
The
in. And
journey.
yeah, a
Yeah.
journey. There you go. Exactly, to try to get in. And so it does seem like something that they should offer. It is such a pain trying if you're not staying in a Disneyland hotel or the Grand Californian to get into the parks from any other hotel you're staying in. I feel like if you're walking in, not taking the bus. So I would say though that while that extra like private entrance will be nice, I think that what you said, Allie, makes a lot of sense. There's not really a reason to journey over to that
Right.
hotel for anything. I mean, there's some really neat stuff in the Grand Californian. The Disneyland
Yeah.
Hotel is iconic, and it's got some like Goofy's Kitchen and the amazing
Trader
pool.
Sam's. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's not really a reason to go there. And, to Eric, to your point, I don't know that they've actually outlined anything that they're going to add to it that'll make it worth that journey at this point. So I hope that they come up with something good.
Yeah, I think they also suffer from a little bit of confusion when news breaks and things, because we've already got a couple Toy Story hotels now in Asia. This is a Pixar hotel. It's kind of like I hope they're not just showing up with the leftover wallpaper from Shanghai and Tokyo, slapping it on the walls. I hope this is a full reimagining. I hope this is a full effort from Imagineering, which who knows what the state that WDI is in right now, what we're going to get. But fingers
Stickers.
crossed, I'm hopeful.
Lots of stickers. All right, so moving on to things that are now open. Those are a lot of things that are kind of breaking news, but these are things that are now open. The Connections Cafe is now open, so rest in peace, the electric umbrella. That is a thing of the past. I don't know, Desi, have you had a chance to journey over to the Connections Cafe yet, or is that on your to-do list?
No, I haven't had a chance to head over there yet, but I've seen pictures, I've heard from people who have been. It sounds fine.
Fine, okay.
It's open.
Yeah, what we heard was that it was
It's
going to be open
another quick service.
on the 27th,
It,
and then we had all this food that I guess Tom had to eat all this food. Is that what happened, Eric?
Yeah, so we had a little bit of a personnel crunch for a few days due to some illnesses, and I was so excited to go over there and cover Connections Cafe, um, and nope, I had to be a reporter at the Magic Kingdom for the day, because when you think of a scoop reporter, you think of old Eric Morton. So I didn't get to go over there. I did just I know that people like I know it's kind of funny we make fun of this, and I the music that is playing in Connections Cafe is from Epidemic Sound, which is just like some subscription. Like we made fun of like the entrance to Epcot is basically Spotify music. This is from Epidemic Sound. I know that because we got a notification of a copyright infringement on a video we tried to put up that said, "Oh no, Epidemic Sound owns the copyright to this." So a little bit of low effort on the ambiance side of things. You own a gigantic catalog of music, um, but I don't hate the place. I mean, we all have a soft spot for the electric umbrella. I'm not sure that any of us will argue that the electric umbrella should have stayed in its final state permanently. Tom says it's pleasant to look out those windows and see everything. It's nice. So I'll give it a chance. I haven't been there yet. I guess we'll find out.
Well, and it looks like I mean, it looks like a typical like the food hall at like the landscape of flavors or everything pop. I mean, just it looks super generic, and the fact that the electric umbrella not only had a certain vibe to it, but also had a second floor was very unique, and I don't know, it felt more comfortable to me. I haven't been in this one yet, but when I look at it, it just everything looks like it's just off the shelf. I could see this anywhere kind of a thing. And again, it looks like it's a very comfortable place. That's for sure. I mean, it looks like a good place to like jump in to get some air conditioning or, just
Charge
grab
your
a
phone.
drink or
Yeah.
something. Or charge a phone, yeah. So I
They
think
have
that
little USB ports too.
they're looking for people. I mean, I guess they're looking for like, people are looking to go in here and just chill. There's the charging station on top of that, but I don't know. It looks pretty generic to me, Allie. Let's get some more of this stuff in Disneyland.
No, it looks okay. Like we'll go when we go to Disney World next, but it just looks real generic, like something you'd see at the airport. And I read the food reviews, and it looked like they liked a few things. That chicken salad looked pretty good, and I think Tom really liked one of the burgers. So, we'll give the food a shot. But Uh, it just doesn't scream 80s Epcot to me, and that's kind of what I want.
This is just a clear signal to those of us that are of the often criticized Epcot fanboys. This is just a clear signal, like we're going in a different direction. This place is no longer about science, future discovery, these
Yeah.
things. This is just you're in our food court, and we're going to make a nice, clean, airy environment for you. But gone is the implication that there's something scientific or futuristic or whimsical about it.
Yeah, nothing whimsical about this. Or, again, Mouse Gear, that was kind of the first kind of blow. Yeah, it looks very generic. And maybe people will like it. Definitely let us know later what you guys think, if you've been, if you like the whole vibe of it. I think we just liked that it had character before, and it just doesn't seem like it has anything that stands out with it. So moving on to Main Street Electrical Parade is back. What I find funny about this is that I feel like a couple of years ago we were like, we don't want it, you take it. Like sending it back and forth between Florida and California, and it was going back and forth. It's like, it's coming back again. Like it was, it seemed like every year, like we were getting another announcement. It's like, hey, guess what? It's back again. You thought it would be gone forever, but here it is again. And now it's hit its 50th anniversary, and this feels like a party. All the stuff that they've done for it.
It's a party.
Yeah. So you've got there's a new float, and that's something we talked about for a while that they were going to add on to the end of it. There's this really cool, like, old school balloon I love. I think that's very cool. Although I think that I heard is the cost of it like $18 or something like that. That's.
I mean, most of them $14 or $15 anyway.
I'm just still getting used to it, Eric. I don't buy a lot of balloons. But then you've got sippers, because I'm a sucker for a sipper, and oh my gosh. A popcorn bucket and a sipper and
a dragon popcorn bucket. Wow.
Yeah. Allie, you don't happen to know anybody that has their hands on one of those, do you?
I do. I have the dragon.
Nice.
And I know this makes Rob really sad, but I also have the sipper.
Because these are sold out.
Sipper sold out. Yes, the dragon came back for a few days. He's super cute. He lights up. I don't think Figment lit up, but it's not a competition.
That sounds like fighting words there. How was the popcorn that came with it? Because there was some like specialty mix of popcorn.
I did not eat the popcorn. The other guy, I was on DCA duty that day, so I just grabbed the buckets, but they said they really liked the popcorn.
Gotcha.
It looked like it was colorful and sweet, and they liked it.
I don't know that I've ever seen them go out of their way for one thing as much as they have for this one, because there's food and merch and the balloons and the popcorn buckets and all this stuff.
Sippers, two sippers.
And you've tried the food, like all the snacks. Do you have a favorite?
I did about half of the food. Yeah, the food is mostly really good. Oh, and we also had Wishables too. I think,
oh, that's true. Oh, yeah. Just don't rub that in again.
Sorry.
Too fresh.
Sorry.
Too fresh a wound.
Sorry.
That's okay. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty exciting stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, Desi, when it was in Florida, were you like, was this a big deal to you, or were you like, I wish we had something better?
No, I was a Main Street Electrical Parade fangirl, and so upset. I was there the last day of it because I had to see it out. Even though it's probably not actually the last day of it, I'm sure they'll bring it back here at some point. I'm pretty jealous of California getting it back. But really, I would just be happy with almost anything as a nighttime parade right now. And I also want that popcorn bucket and both of the sippers.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem. Eric, Main Street Electrical Parade. I know, I feel like Spectro Magic was your jam. But did you have good feelings about this one?
I was born in the 70s, and like every kid born in the 70s, I had this album. So I had very fond memories of the Main Street Electrical Parade. I remember I hadn't seen it in years. Spectra was playing at Magic Kingdom, which of course is one of those things that everyone loves the music for. And I remember in 2008, I was going to DCA for my first time ever. And I was so excited because I had the Main Street Electrical Parade. About halfway through it, I was like, okay, I think I've seen enough. Let's go right. So I don't know. I like the idea that this exists. I like the idea that things can persist for 50 plus years, and everyone can love them and appreciate them. It is funny that apparently these pieces have outlasted the floats from Spectro Magic, which didn't come out until like 91, I think. Was it 91? Yeah, 91. 20th anniversary, right? So apparently those disintegrated, but Main Street Electrical Parade lives on.
Is so not fanboy of Spectrum Magic notwithstanding. Is this the best nighttime parade of all time?
No,
Okay.
it's the one most people would associate with Disney, though, and it's the best. Yeah, to me, Spectrum Magic is hard to beat.
Gotcha. And I have to go back to you on this one, Desi, because I just need to know because my kids are grown. Do you spend $18 on a balloon for your kids? Is that a thing that you do in your family?
I did it once to announce I was having a boy, so I bought a blue balloon. It's the only time I've bought a balloon.
I mean, I get they light up and they're big and they're Mylar probably, and so I mean, it feels like okay, yeah, I guess what other price point would I expect? But I just remember as a little kid, I could not be trusted with a balloon of any kind. And if you like, I would beg for them, I would get them, gone. It's like there goes $18. Bye bye.
Yeah, I was going to say back in the day.
I had a parasol with one of my Dapper Day outfits, and somebody walked by me with a balloon, and it popped it, and I felt terrible.
And you
really
immediately coughed up $20.
No, I said if you tell a cast member, I'm sure they will give you a new one.
What were you gonna say, Eric?
Hopefully.
I was gonna say back in the day, a kid's balloon would fly away and the kid would cry. But now that balloons are $18, it's the parents that are crying.
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, again, they look kind of cool. I believe that I saw Tom had one. I know, surprise, surprise. But I look at it and go, I could not pull that trigger. That seems like a lot. So in addition to the Main Street Electrical Parade coming back, Allie, you've got Disneyland fireworks are back and the World of Color is back. Is it wonderful to be back in business with nighttime shows on the left coast?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, we'd had fireworks, we had Mickey's Mixed Magic, so Disneyland Forever is back. So that debuted, they did a soft opening on Wednesday, and then Friday for the official opening, they actually had to stop the fireworks halfway through because of the wind. So that was just a typical California moment, but super, super happy World of Color is back. That is my favorite show. And some of the fountains aren't working, so it's not like as much as it was before, but we known that was an issue, but it's terrific. It's great, and they're doing a virtual queue for it, and they don't have the dining packages quite ready, so almost everybody can get a decent spot to view it if you can get into the virtual queue, and it's wonderful.
How do you get into the virtual queue? Is it something like does it happen at 7 a.m.? Do you have to have Genie Plus?
It happens at noon.
Fast? Noon. Okay.
It happens at noon, so same as like Rise of the Resistance was.
Gotcha. And yeah. Do they go fast?
It went super fast, yeah. So luckily I'd had a dessert party seat to do the filming, and then our other two reporters were able to get virtual queue spots, so.
And is it weird that after being gone and shut down for what feels like 10 years that there would still be any technical issue at all once they bring this thing back?
Yeah, like I feel like they've been working on it forever, and then to still have like a third of the fountains not working. I don't know if they're planning on coming back at some point, but like maybe we should have been working on this before we opened the show, but here we are. But we're just so desperate for anything. We're like, yay,
we expect better from California, and we
do.
And
we get Fantasmic in 28 days, 27 days.
Something like that. Eric, you were just out there not too long ago. You didn't get to do World of Color. You've seen it before, though, right?
Yeah, I've seen it, and I got to sit there in Lamplight Lounge and watch them work on what I presumed would be fully functional, soon to be fully functional fountains. So I'm surprised to hear that so many of them aren't working. This is great news. It means there's more value for people. There's all these been price increases and all these problems for people who are Magic Key holders even getting into the parks at all. So it's good that you can claw back a few of those dollars. And then if you are a person who's seen the show several times, it's a good opportunity to go ride stuff with shorter lines, eats a lot of people. It makes the parks better when you have these nighttime events for the people that want to attend the event and for the people who want to ride stuff during it.
Yep. Agree. Desi?
I really want anything nighttime on this side of the country.
I'm
I'm just super
sorry.
jealous of everything. And when are we getting our Fantasmic back?
Um,
Desi, we still can't get trams going in 3 of the parks.
yes, that's
You
going to
guys
be
still
on.
Can't
don't have
figure out.
trams?
We No, we can't figure out
Or
combustion engines. How
trains?
are we going to figure
Oh
out
my God.
all these combustible fireworks?
Look, Desi, you got kite tails, okay? Kite tails. Just chill out. I mean,
With special annual pass holder seating.
but if you think about it, though, you've got, I mean, Harmonious brand new, Enchantment brand new. You may hate them, but they're brand new. And so both of those things exist. At least this stuff is coming back to California, which is very exciting. I know World of Color. Here's the thing I don't understand. World of Color seems to be the one that everyone loves. I'd never met anybody that just went, meh, not a big deal, because it just seems to be so well done. I just still don't understand why they wouldn't do something like this in that theater in, that
Yeah.
at Animal Kingdom. Like
Animal
I don't,
Kingdom. Yeah.
because I get you can't fire off fireworks, fine. You could do fountains though. It just feels like a thing that you should be able to do at Animal Kingdom, and I still don't understand why that's not a thing. So, I mean, Eric may have inside information, but I don't really know why. No
Because
guesses at
money.
this one.
They're gonna
Okay.
they're gonna
Cost too
they're gonna
much.
have they're gonna have the animals operating the projectors. Who
Put 'em
knows?
to
Maybe
work,
we'll get
man.
some of the fountains fixed.
Nobody
The
gets a
elephants
free
can
ride.
squirt water like a screen of water. It'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down for that. That's not a problem. So let's move on to ice cream. So Ample Hills, I loved Ample Hills. Ample Hills was at the boardwalk, and then they were going to build a new location at Disney Springs, and then that nasty pandemic-y thing happened that you guys keep telling me about, and they decided that they were not going to open, and then they were like, hey, there's this Salt and Straw place. That seems like a good idea. Let's put that out there. And that opened this week. So that's exciting. There are a lot of things that we've seen that we've been keeping track of, like the Connections Cafe, like these nighttime shows that are finally coming to be. And Salt and Straw is now open at Disney Springs, and it looks pretty amazing. I don't know, Eric, have you been out to this one because you're the local guy? Have you been?
Yeah, I have walked past. I didn't eat. I will say the line wasn't as long as I expected it to be. I was concerned from a traffic pattern because the west side needs more stuff to do, but it's also very compressed there. There's a very narrow walkway where that is, and I was worried that that was really going to make things a lot worse. When I walked past, it wasn't that bad, but I'm excited to see that there's more stuff opening there. I don't know. I don't know if I ever set foot in that whatever that place was before, Silver Place, or I don't know what it was.
Mm. Don't know. I do know though that I was excited about Ample Hills, so I'm hoping that this is going to be a great thing. There is one already in California, right? At downtown or at Disney,
Yeah.
downtown Disney.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we've had one at Downtown Disney for a while. There's a couple around LA, but it's really, really good. I like it. I think that's great for Disney Springs. They have fun flavors.
Fun flavors. They look complicated. Have you looked at this flavor list, Dizzy? I mean, it doesn't look like it's your typical vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry.
As long as it's not what did the avocado guacamole popsicle that they had over at
Oh, the
Disneyland?
frozen guacamole. It was so good.
Yeah. No, that did not look like it was up my alley. But I do like ice cream in general, so I'm excited to try it out. I did just go to Disney Springs, but it was with family from out of town, and they were more focused on doing the
NBA experience?
trendy
Oh,
and
sorry.
They
more of
do
the
have some
Disney
normal
focused
flavors
stuff.
though. It's not all olive oil and honey lavender. You know, they have normal kind of flavors too. So there's
Yeah.
stuff for everybody.
But I mean,
Honey lavender still sounds better than guacamole flavored ice cream
that was horrible. It wasn't ice cream. It was just frozen
or
guacamole.
popsicle.
It
Was
was.
it? I don't know.
All I can say about that is I've had it. That's all. That's all I can say about it.
It was good.
Was it? I think you
It
and I had
was.
very different experiences on that one, Ellie. So let's move on to something else very exciting, Cosmic Rewind. We've only talked about this forever, And then finally, they're doing sneak previews. They're doing sneak previews for D23, for DVC, for AP, and for cast members, and they were all gone like that.
I
Again, we haven't
never
been on.
got any notification. I was so upset. They were gone before I even knew.
I'm so sorry. So what you're saying is you don't get a preview of this one.
No, and I'm really upset about it. I really wish that I could.
Here's a preview. Look
Yes.
there. I gave you a preview right there.
Oh,
There's a
thanks.
preview of what it looks like from
Thanks.
the outside. So get excited about that.
Even with baby swap, it's so hard to do something like this because then you've got one person with two toddlers by themselves while the other person is just standing there probably for 2+ hours waiting for it. So I probably won't get to experience it anytime soon.
Well, they are setting up a stage in front of it. I assume they're going to do some sort of kind of a large press event in front of it, so that's probably why that's happening. So maybe you can go out there and pretend to be part of the press, Desi, and get in real quick. I don't know if these are spoilers or not. So if you're someone who's trying to keep from all things Guardians of the Galaxy spoilers, look away. But Terry Crews is going to be one of the many projections inside of the Cosmic Rewind. So that's kind of fun. That's something kind of neat. And then also we were exposed to what the soundtrack is. The soundtrack is such an important part of the Guardians Tower in California that it's really neat to see that they're going to be bringing that and then making it somewhat different. So September, Disco Inferno, Conga, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Iran, in one way or another were the ones that were leaked. They actually leaked that 9 to 5 from Dolly Parton was one of the ones that was going to be on there. And as that hit the internet, one of our friends who actually is on the opening crew messaged me and said, "Do not report that. That is not a thing that's happening." I don't know how somebody accidentally put that out there. Maybe they
It
were
would be
playing around
weird
with it.
though,
Yeah,
because Dolly has her own theme park.
she
So,
does. She does
but
have her
I
own theme
love
park.
all of the songs on that list. It is an awesome mix.
It. Oh, see, I see what you did there. Allie, as someone who gets to ride the tower in California all the time, are you excited about this one?
I am excited for this. Like, it looks super fun. I am pumped to come out in August and finally get to ride this. If it's half as good as our ride here, like, it's gonna be great. I like that, we have different music here and fun songs, and it sounds like the ride's gonna be amazing. So, yay, yay,
Well, there
Epcot.
there aren't going to be any animatronics, so already it's only going to be half as good. That is
All right,
a
well,
given. So, Eric, do you have a preview at all for this one?
Yeah, I do. I did not receive the email, but you know what I did receive? A notification on the WDWNT app.
Ah,
love
Desi,
So yeah,
that's at
that.
I'll be
you.
there a week from today, actually noon on the 8th. So I'll be there. Come say hi. I'm excited. I know some people who have written it. Mixed reviews. I mean, nobody said it's bad. I just had people that said it's the best thing ever, and I've had people say it's pretty fun. It'll be the most fun ride at Epcot, which I think we all already knew.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Soarin' is a pretty fun, but also I guess divisive attraction. Like some people love it, and some people kind of just hate it. But Test Track, we all loved what it used to be, and now we're okay with what it is now. Um, Frozen, some
I'm just
people,
excited for more stuff at Epcot. The more
yes,
stuff to do at Epcot, the better for me.
agree 100% because there's
Yeah.
just not enough going on there right now. Yeah, that's going to be exciting, and let us know how that turns out. So, moving on to other construction, Toy Story Land, which has been under construction in many different phases all over it, is this box that took them, I think, 9 days to put up is the longest project I've ever seen. Take the like from something that was already like ready to go. This is the rodeo, the Roundup Rodeo Barbecue Restaurant. We're seeing that there's some work on the side here,
Wow.
but like when you look at that, it looks so generically awful. And it's like so we're seeing signs that it's going up, but like a prefab building that goes up like that and then just sits there for this long worries the heck out of me, especially because it looks like they've duct taped it together there, and it's not even open yet. It's just been sitting there, kind of wasting away to nothing. So that's fun. Also, they're apparently clearing more space for Woody's lunchbox. So I mean that
Which
construction's taking place as well. I don't know. You're the scoop reporter, Eric. What are they doing, man? What are they doing?
That building is hilarious. It looks like those reality shows where they drop people off in the woods and see how long they can survive, and they just build a shelter out of what they have available. That looks like what happened.
Yeah.
Like, are there architectural drawings, or did Andy actually design this?
No, this is legit, Andy.
I don't know. I don't know. We make fun of Toy Story Land a lot. It doesn't look good, but again, more options eventually down the road. It's good for me.
Yeah, there are so many projects, and we've talked about them enough on this show that some of them just kind of drop off and they don't talk about them anymore, and some of them they kind of limp along, and then they show us flooring and anything else they can do to keep us excited about the fact that the thing is way behind schedule, but it's coming soon. This one, I don't know. I mean, there's so many things about Toy Story Land in general that I wanted to love it, and yet at the same time, it looks like they budget cut the whole thing, and then they went and looked and went, this is a dumpster fire. What did we do? Like they got to go back and fix it. So, and again, I'm gonna go to Desi on this one and ask you. Like, I assume your kids don't see the flaws in Toy Story Land when they go. Do they love going there, and are they excited about
No.
a restaurant?
Their favorite ride in all of Disney World is Alien Swirling Saucers. So,
What?
no.
What?
You're lying. That is not a thing.
I'm not lying. They love it. They keep asking for the Pizza Planet ride. That's what they call it. Pizza Planet, Pizza Planet. So
Those poor kids.
they are super hyped, I'm sure, about the idea of being able to eat in a Toy Story themed restaurant. Since we've only been to Woody's Lunchbox once because it takes forever to get your food and then even longer to find a place to sit.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, it does look like it's very short-sighted. Hey, we're going to make a brand new land, and it opened up before Galaxy's Edge, before Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and they opened it up, and they were like, hey, we're not ready for you. I mean, right from the beginning, and then all the things that have broken over time and gotten messed up, and it feels like they just need to fix it, and maybe, I mean, it's their, this IP is so valuable to the company. It seems like they would not do it this dirty. But it's so interesting that you say your kids love alien swirling saucers, because I feel like most people, I know a lot of people whose families just live and die by Slinky Dog. Like, they love that attraction and that line.
They aren't big enough for Slinky Dog. They're two.
Gotcha. Well, maybe they'll change their mind once they get there. So we will see. Meanwhile, out in California, the Nemo subs look like they're actually getting closer to opening up. I love to go there and like see Allie and say, hey, can we go ride the Nemo subs? And then can we see the Phantasmic? And can we do all these things that we can't get to? It's really, she loves it. It's a fun joke, isn't it, Allie?
It's a hilarious joke.
What we've seen here is that they've actually started to color the bed again before they fill it with water. I don't know. Have you heard anything about how close we actually are to this thing finally reopening?
They do not talk about it. Just like we're not supposed to talk about Bruno, we don't talk about Nemo. Nobody knows.
We don't talk about Nemo.
It looks like it's just, it looks like every time, because I rode the monorail on Thursday, and yeah, it looks like they just maybe need some water in there, but I don't really like that ride. I might do it like once a year. It's just a little too claustrophobic-y in there for me, but when I'm in there, I'm like, oh, this is okay, it's cute, but I don't know. It's not a ride that I'm super excited to reopen. I feel like they could probably do something better with all of that area, like we talked about earlier, but I don't know.
As somebody who grew up with 20,000 Leagues, and maybe I romanticize it, the idea that it still exists in some way, shape, or form really makes me happy. I get what you're saying, though, like that they could probably
like
do
I'm
something
torn,
more.
like
Yeah,
like don't get rid of it. Like, it's a classic ride, but it's I just don't. I feel like it could be better, and I feel like they're doing all of this, and it will eventually open, and it's like meh.
Eric, I know you're a fan of the original.
Look, we have
20,000
tons
Leagues.
of rides. Disney has tons of rides where you simulate flight. They have tons of rides where you're floating on water. They have several where you're on land. They only have one now where you're really underwater. So I love that there's an underwater ride. I realize like it's not the best ride in the world, but we got to hold out. We got to save this underwater ride.
Desi, thoughts?
I didn't get a chance to ride Nemo when I was in California because I only went the one time. So I was trying to do a whole bunch of different things. So I didn't ever get around to the Nemo ride just because I have been on 20,000 Leagues and I kind of felt like Nemo would be a disappointment after that. But
That's fair.
it would
So
be
you
sad
did
to
ride
see
the
it
original
go at
20,000
all.
Leagues in Florida.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? And I think you forget how claustrophobic, and I think you mentioned that, Allie, how
Yeah.
claustrophobic it is and you're like, I don't remember it being this small. Of course, I was not this large, so maybe that's part of it. But when you get into it, it's just like, it feels like that the getting you in and out of that is what takes the most time, more so than the actual ride itself. So.
And it's like people have never used stairs in their life before. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, walk up the stairs and leave. This should not be hard. But
But again, if they were going to get rid of this for some reason, it feels like that as long as it's been down, this seems like the time they would have done it. So I don't know
yeah,
if it's
we
just
don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, nobody talks about it. Nobody knows.
right. We
I
don't
don't know.
talk about Nemo. Eric, cut that demo immediately. We don't talk about Nemo. Can you get that done? No, I'll call
Yeah,
Tom.
I already got it.
All right, it's fine. Moving on to Moana. Speaking of water, taking the journey of water. This thing is starting to come along. We've got actual vertical construction. There's a tower that is popping up here. I cannot wait for this attraction on two fronts. One is because I'm sick of not being able to walk through the center of Epcot Center. I know it's not called Epcot Center, but
Yes.
it worked with the joke. So I want to be able to walk through the middle of this place again. And also, I can't wait to see what this is because I still don't understand it completely, Desi. What are your thoughts on this one? Just it's going to be nice to have a Moana attraction, or are you pro or con Moana? Talk about it a little bit.
I can't say whether I'm pro or con this attraction because I have no idea what it is.
It's a journey of
What
water.
is it?
Desi, it's a journey of water.
What does that
It's a
mean?
journey
But
of water.
I love Moana. She is one of my favorite princesses. And I love the movie, so I'll be interested to see what they do with this. I think that she deserves some representation in the parks. I have no idea what this is, so I'm just interested to see what comes out. And I'll be happy to be able to walk through that area
Eric,
again.
I know you know a little bit about construction. Just giving this an eyeball, what do you think? 2 more weeks, we're done? What do you think?
Yeah, we can have 2 weeks. It just
We-
depends.
yeah.
I'm like everybody else, so I don't really know what the Journey of Water attraction is. I mean, but anything's better than people simulating the Journey of Water while aboard the Pirates of the Caribbean. So, sorry to make two jokes of the same incident of the last couple days. But
Yeah. I mean, it's a journey of water. I don't know what you people don't get. Journey of water. See? It's just like that. It's everything you want a journey of
you
water
just
to
walk
be.
past a rock. I mean, is it really all this hullabaloo to walk past a rock with a couple like waterfalls
A
on it?
rock with water. Come on, man. No, it is interesting about this one to me is that they haven't really given us updates on when it's going to happen, and it's the biggest eyesore in the middle of that park. And then they also really haven't told us what it's going to be. Kind of like the whole like Cherry Tree Lane expansion. They were like, hey, Mary Poppins is coming. When? What's it going to be? And then they're like, no, 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 it's not happening. Well, maybe it's happening. We're not really sure. So with looking at this one, I don't know what it's going to be. It just looks to be, you know what it reminds me of, Allie? It just from the drawings here is the Redwood Creek. Does it? I mean, except without the challenges, just kind of like a place to walk through.
Yeah, it just kind of looks like, or even kind of behind the Grizzly Bear Run, where it's just kind of scenic and peaceful.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really what the front of Epcot needed, but hopefully it's cool. I don't know.
Well, it's going to be cool
I mean,
because it's
you've
going
been
to be
working on it for
water.
how long, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, this
Uh,
has been forever.
I mean,
And now
again,
we've got four walls.
yeah, I argued this with Pete when they were first like blowing it up, and I said, Epcot is a war zone. Like they took down everything. Why take it all down at the same time? Why all of it? Why not take one thing down, put something new in? Why take it all down at the same time? And that's what they did. They took everything down at the same time. They demolished Innoventions. They closed down the Mouse Gear. They closed down Ellen. They closed down everything was shut down all over the place. I don't know why we were paying full price to get in, but we were. I guess because of the festivals. But when you go in and look at this, yeah, you're right. Like they've had forever to work on this. They could have worked on it while the park was closed. They knew it was going to happen, right? So I don't understand what the deal is with this one. But man, if you think you didn't like, know what was going on with that one, wait till we talk about this one. The Tron roller coaster, which we still don't know if this is going to be done in the 20s.
Oh, look at that photography. Look
Did
at
you
that
take?
photography.
Is this scoop? Is this official
Who's
scoop
the
photography?
Scoop reporter on that?
Well, this is another one of those things that, and for those of you who read WDWNT.com, first of all, thank you for doing that. Secondly, every day we have reporters that go out, and just to make sure that they're on top of it, we'll go through and look at all of these construction projects and see how they're coming along. And I know it looks like Eric was assigned Tron most recently. So as you've gone through this, I mean, when you look at it, do you actually see significant advancements in this from time to time when you're going through, or no?
Yeah, but in particular, you can see the railroad tunnel kind of coming into kind of being formed. Also, the day I was there, they were testing ride vehicles. I was not able to see it when they were testing the ride vehicles, but I could see the ride vehicles parked kind of under that overhang, so I could see those. It's kind of cool, like to know like the ride at least to a certain extent functions now to decorate, I guess, for lack of a better term. There's obviously infrastructure that still needs to be done to make the train go through there and all that kind of stuff, but as much as I'm excited for Tron, I'm just as excited to get the railroad running again. Just another thing to eat people and to kind of reduce the crowds throughout the rest of the park. Let's have a train and Tron. That will help a lot.
Doesn't it feel like, though, they should have been able to open the train a while ago? I mean, why not start with this tunnel? Why
It
not?
goes right through that construction site, though. I mean, they could have diverted the track and gone around somehow. Maybe, I don't even know, because there's like a drain. Like I commute right behind Space Mountain every day, right? So there's not a whole lot of room back there. There's a big drainage canal. There's really nowhere to go except for where that path is. It goes right through the Tron construction site.
Well, I don't care for it, sir. I don't like it. I want it to be done.
I will forward your concerns to the appropriate parties.
Yeah, I don't think you will. It's fine. So it looks like they're doing other things to get ready for it, including like shutting down the back part of the Tomorrowland Light and Power Company over here, so that you can't make your way through there anymore. I assume this is all Tron-related construction that's happening. Okay.
I mean,
Cool.
That's how you're going to walk to Tron, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
You got to create some kind of transition.
I think those flying cars you were talking about at the top of the show may be done before Tron is, so there may be some other way to get us there. Who knows? It's pretty exciting. The thing that bothers me about this, though, the most, I think, is that they don't talk about when this is going to be coming, and I feel like they've got to have a plan at this point about when it can be open. And they also don't talk about the Journey of Water. Now, Journey of Water, yeah, you can see it from the monorail, like all that construction, but not everyone takes the monorail. But the People Mover, so many people go by this every day and have got to be going, what the heck is going on over there, right? So I don't know. It's super frustrating.
Well, they better finish by June 23rd, when Reedy Creek is allegedly going to be dissolved. They won't have any. They'll have to apply for permits through Orange County or whatever.
Get it all done now, right?
Get it done while you can issue your own permits.
So I have this listed as New Orleans because I wanted to talk about the fact that New Orleans Square is under some great reconstruction for all of it's for all of the congestion there, right? That happens especially when Fantasmic is going on. And Fantasmic, as you mentioned, Allie, is returning on May 28th, because why not do it during what could possibly be the busiest time of the year? Because not only is there Star Wars Celebration happening right next door, not only is Grad Night on the 27th, not only is it Memorial Day weekend, but let's just go ahead and open this beloved show at the same time, just to make sure we just cram enough people in there.
Exactly. I'm thinking that most of those walls will be down by the time Fantasmic opens. I would hope, because there is no space over there right now. Like, I don't even know how you could run Fantasmic with more than a couple hundred people being able to watch it. But They're trying to widen everything, and I see you have Tarzan on there next. They're gonna, I think, demolish part of that Tarzan entrance to widen all that by Adventureland into Pirates, and that should help alleviate some of the traffic through there. So hopefully it looks really nice when it's done, and there'll be some more viewing area for Fantasmic, and everything will be amazing.
Now, is this why Pirates is down too? Is because they're of the congestion in that area and them opening it
Yeah,
up?
I think, yeah, because when you walk over the bridge, you can see down into Pirates, and it looked like they're kind of rerouting a little bit of that. So I don't know if they're going to change the queue or if they're just refreshing the queue just to try to make it all look super nice before Fantasmic opens. But the walls seem to change every time I'm there, so they're plugging along at least. But hopefully, this should all be good to go within 28 days, I would think.
So do you think Pirates will reopen the same time, or do you think that there's something else going on? I know you're just
Um,
guessing, but
Yeah, I would guess that it would probably all reopen at the same time because I would think you would want the Blue Bayou dining packages and all of that to kind of happen at the same time with Fantasmic.
yes, you would think so. Tied into that, like you said, is the Tarzan
Yeah.
attraction, which if you look here, you can see, and if you've been there and you're going from Adventureland to New Orleans Square, the Tarzan attraction starts in the middle of the walkway, which
Yeah.
I mean, I get that it's not good for traffic flow, but it's kind of cool. Like if you go to the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse at Disney World, you could kind of miss it. I mean, it's over off to the side. There's nothing fancy about it. I mean, you could just walk right by it. This one that had the big, it had the sign for Tarzan's Treehouse
Yeah.
and the little rope bridge would go over top of you. And I mean, I always thought this was a neat layout for this attraction, but I also do get that, man, like this is your main way to get to Fantasmic. This is your main way to get to Galaxy's Edge. This
Get
is, I
back there
mean,
at all. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
there's a lot of
crowded.
stuff.
Like I think as long as they do a good job with it, I think that will help in the long run. And I think they're retheming Tarzan anyway, so
Yep. So let's move on to
do it
talk
all at
about that
once.
because I think Desi specifically asked Lin Manuel Miranda to reach out to the powers that be and say there needs to be more Encanto in the parks. Um, I mean, I love the fact that Swiss Family Robinson still exists in Florida. I do, but I also love that Tarzan's Treehouse, which we just did a review of Tarzan, and it couldn't be a better fit that Tarzan has a treehouse because of the way that story goes. So I love that that's a thing. But Desi, if they go and make this like part of Encanto,
Casita.
yeah. Well, I mean,
I think they would have to demolish the entire treehouse for that because I don't see how a treehouse fits with Encanto. Um, I do see how it fits with Tarzan. However, Tarzan's actual experience with the treehouse is very limited and very tragic. I wouldn't want to experience that if I were Tarzan. I wouldn't want to go back in there and go to that treehouse based on what happens to him and his family in that treehouse. Um, so I personally don't think that it's a huge loss
how
to
dare you?
remove
How
Tarzan.
dare you? I don't know. I thought it was really well done. Like I get
That
it.
the dead bodies of his parents laying there in the movie,
Yeah.
um,
Killer
not
jaguar in the
ideal
trees.
for
I get it. I get it.
for something in a Disney park.
But the rumor is, and I could be wrong on this, that it would be Antonio's room. So that's how they would make it in
Hmm.
Kanto is because of his room being very much
Okay.
like a jungle because of his love for animals, and so this would kind of that would be the way they would tie it into Encanto. That it wouldn't be the house; it would just be like Antonio's room. And if it did that, could we sell you on that, Desi?
But how would you get into Antonio's room?
Well,
You
not
would
from the
still have
middle
to
because
go
they're going to
through the
demolish
Right.
that.
casita. You
I
still
don't.
need a casita to get there. Um,
Maybe they just make a big flat entrance. I don't know. Uh,
Maybe it's going to be kind of like the Enchanted Tales with Belle, where it's like you go in and then, oh, magically you're transported um, without actually having to go anywhere.
Eric, I have a pitch for you of something they could do. What do you think about Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse under new management?
Hey, you never know. You know, one of my favorite parts of Disneyland is their use of their limited space. And so Disneyland in particular uses a lot of vertical elements to try to kind of increase the available space and what they have. So the treehouse being there, like kind of right there between Indiana Jones and Pirates of the Caribbean is kind of cool. I like that it's there. I don't know that ripping that treehouse out would really increase that, would provide that much square footage for anything new. I think whatever they have to do, they're going to have to utilize vertical space. So an Encanto treehouse doesn't thematically make a lot of sense. There are other parts of the park that actually are it's weird because as much as Disneyland is innovative with use of space, then you go to certain areas where you're like, this just seems like kind of a big dead spot, particularly in Tomorrowland. Yeah, put the Madrigal family in Tomorrowland. Who knows what's going to happen here? What I will say though is there's a huge bottleneck in this whole area. Last time I was there, Indiana Jones was closed, so it wasn't as much, but it was, these bottlenecks are hard to cure, and I'm sure that smart people are working on this, and hopefully once these walls come down, we'll see that. I'll say also, I've never seen the Pirates lines, like, it's more popular than ever. That line it couldn't have been much bigger.
Because the bathrooms are closed, that's why. Yeah. Yeah, right back at you. I brought it back. We don't have it on the schedule to talk about. We don't have it on the schedule to talk about, but gosh darn it, Eric, if you want to talk about it, let's stop right now and talk about it. That there was an incident. Do you want to tell the people about it?
A woman urinated off of the boats on Pirates of the Caribbean were stuck, and a woman hung her backside off of one of the boats and made a #1 into the #1 ride at Disneyland.
Well, wow. Amber.
Yeah,
what's that?
Was her name Amber?
No. But I don't know. You can read all about it on our website.
We had
you can't do that without 20 people whipping their cameras out, right? Like, she has to be on 50 people's social media at this point.
So that's the thing, though, is they were stuck, and they were doing an evac, and so they were stuck for a long time. She had to go. That's how she decided that she was going to deal with it. I actually saw something very similar happen, but not with a woman, full-grown woman. It was a little boy. We were in line, and this was very solvable. We were in line at Splash Mountain, and the guy is there with his kid, and they're in line, and the kid has to go to the bathroom. And we're, it's in that outdoor queue at Splash Mountain at Disney World. And so the guy's like, man, he's like calling his wife, can you come back and get him and take him? And she's not answering, and he's like, great, what do I do? Well, here's the answer. Leave the freaking line. That's the answer. Leave the line. But no, he puts his kid in the bushes, and he says, go ahead and go. And then he looks at the people around him and says, don't judge me. No, I think there were other things you could have done here. Now, in this particular case, because it is a situation where she cannot go anywhere, I'm not saying I'm pro doing this. I'm not trying to give this as a tip for those of you who are out there who are stuck on a boat. But yeah, it's definitely something crazy. And the fact that it would come out now is a little weird. I guess it was because of that TikTok video. Is that why? Because the ride's been closed for a month or two,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it takes people a while to upload these things. Apparently, I figured 10 people would be live streaming it.
I was about to say, if you had that when you uploaded immediately.
Wait, no pun intended.
Ooh, live stream. I get what you're saying. All right, let's fly through a couple of these things because I really feel like this is worth talking about. There was a story on our website on April 20th, 4/20, if you guys are keeping track, that said that there were going to be that Disneyland would not allow the renewal of the Dream and Believe Magic Key passes. This shakes me to my core because I feel like they've already said that things were sold out and you couldn't buy new ones. Now they're telling you can't renew them. Allie, I mean, are you worried about this at all, or is this something that maybe we've just misunderstood?
I read the tweet, I think that came from, and the email, and yeah, it was very clear that they were not going to let this person renew their pass that expired today. But yeah, that concerns me quite a bit. Like, as a local, if I can't have a pass, like, I'm not going. I can't afford the one-day ticket price every time I want to go. And I don't understand, if it's sold out, why you can't renew into it unless they're going to revamp the program. So if they're going to revamp the program and go back to something else, and that's what they're leaning towards, then that would all make sense. But yeah, it's a little concerning because there is no information on this. There's no reservations, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
Didn't they just finish a Magic Key Holder lounge? Like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
are they going to these
I don't
great
know.
lengths to try to like reward magic key holders and then just yanking the carpet out? It sounds like either they're revamping the whole program or the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing.
But in your understanding, Eric, they are letting you renew Disney World annual passes. There's some that they're not selling.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
I
because
just
I just
only
renewed my
selling the
Disney World
Pixie
Pass.
Pass
Yeah.
I
new. Right.
downgraded, right? I went to, I don't know what the one. I
Pirate?
had platinum, which is now in credit pass, and now I downgraded to blah 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 pass, whatever it's called. And
But you're the scoop
'cause it's
reporter.
points.
How can you downgrade? Aren't you worried about
Here's the way I look
blockouts?
at it, Rob. Here's the way I look at it. You pay about a $400 premium for that in credit pass over the next tier down, and the only difference between them essentially is a couple weeks of park pass availability, and there are weeks when I couldn't get a park pass anyway, so I'd be paying them
Fair.
$400 for the pleasure of me screaming at my phone because I couldn't get a park pass anyway. So I figured I could do something better with that $400. Maybe go to an after hours party.
Disney really needs your money right now, buddy. They're this close to holding a telethon. Like, you need to send them as much of your money
I'm
as
going to need it
possible.
for my property taxes soon, I think.
Oh, hey-oh.
Oh.
Just vote no. Desi, what are your thoughts on this? Do you worry about how this is going to affect Florida or not at all?
I hope that it doesn't affect Florida. I mean, I know a lot of people here who had let go of their passes um, over COVID, thinking that they were going to be able to get them back, and now they're super upset that they can't even get a pass back unless they get the Pixie Pass, which is only for weekdays and has a ton of blockout dates. So we already have such a terrible AP program. I would hate to go to the Magic Key thing.
Yeah, it's not good. But for me, I just want to make sure, like, if I'm going to be dumb enough to continue to upgrade or to continue to renew my pass, just let me do it. I mean, that's the thing. Like, and I was dumb enough to buy the Magic Key, so maybe they're helping me out if they don't let me renew it, because I really shouldn't. I don't get out to California enough to do it, but I have, as we mentioned, a problem. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted on what we learn about this as things move forward. But let's talk about this sting operation. Here's the thing about Disney hotels is I have been there more occasions where I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna leave my laptop out because it's a Disney hotel. I feel completely safe. I'm not really worried about looking around the room and seeing if I've covered up everything that I'm afraid that they might take. Plus the fact that now that housekeeping is like once every 3 days or some ridiculous mess like that, it just seems like it doesn't happen a lot, and that they've got enough to do. They just don't have any time to rummage through my things. Apparently, I'm completely wrong, and I shouldn't feel that safe because Disney ran a sting operation where they targeted a woman who'd been actually stealing or caught stealing from guests and put up cameras and set up, I think it was like $20 in $200 in marked bills and a whole bunch of Apple products. And she went in to the room and full camera view and reached in, grabbed the money, and split some with her coworker there. You were shaking your head, Eric. I mean, you've got to have thoughts on this one.
Just hide your money under the pile of towels that they're going to ignore. I don't know. No,
Oh,
every
Oh.
Disney hotel is equipped with a safe. So for things like that, I've actually probably used them once or twice. Usually I'm a little too trusting. This is not a problem unique to Disney. This is a problem with anybody who's hiring housekeeping staffs. They're in a high trust position, and actually full credit to Disney security for setting this up. The problem must have been pretty bad, but they did. I've had things taken from hotels before, not Disney hotels, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I don't think that actually really happened, or we didn't find anything, or whatever." And go to this online thing and fill this thing out, and then we'll ignore you for the rest of your life. Disney at least is doing something about this problem, and not only do they catch a couple people, but they had this thing continued, and we had further reports of more of this happening. So
That is so
good for Disney
crazy.
for listening, for trying to protect guests. I realize it looks bad on them that this happened. This isn't stuff that gets publicized. That you have to like file for a police report to try to find this stuff out, which we did. I'm sure they don't want it getting out there, but now that's out there. Good job actually setting up a sting and stopping these people.
Yeah, what were you going to say, Desi?
The thing that I find craziest, not that, you know, that somebody stole something in the first place, but that after that person got caught and arrested, that somebody else did it again, knowing that one of your coworkers was just set up and arrested. You were like, yeah, it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and take the chance and keep on stealing. I feel like that's when you should be on your highest alert. And shame on them for stealing in the first place, and they got what was coming to them.
I love that you are siding with the culprit here. Like, you know what? You should know better. You should know better. You gotta think about this. They've already caught. Like, let it cool down for 6 months and then start stealing again. Like Desi, this is advice from Desi on this one. Now, obviously, stuff like this does not happen in California.
No, never. We're perfect out here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like Eric said, it happens everywhere, and good on Disney for catching it and doing something. I know when we usually stay for about 10 days when we go in August, and we don't really carry cash, but I leave my laptop out, and definitely something that we will have to think about. Use the safe.
Yep. Public service announcement, the more you know. Speaking of, like, it feels like there was like this whole couple weeks of just this police blotter situation happening in the most magical place on earth. Answer the call. I really am looking at this thinking, what the heck is happening, Florida? I mean, not like we weren't all asking it, Eric. What the heck is happening, Florida? But like not only did the housekeeping thing happen, but there was also at Port Orleans, there was a double homicide suspect who was arrested at Port Orleans. Basically, the moral of the story is stay away from Port Orleans, folks. The Riverside, anyway.
I think you got a 5 on our ranking.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's.
He did. I think the suspect was from out of town though. He's from South Carolina.
Well, obviously he was from out of town. He was staying at Riverside.
I mean, I stay at Disney hotels too.
Oh,
that's
true.
wouldn't be my first choice of a place to hide out for a while. You know.
Yes,
you got a magic castle with that kind of action.
You are a scoop reporter, so that does make sense.
Mm.
Here's the thing, though. Then on top of that, guest arrested with gun hanging around his neck while ingesting bag of chalky white substance outside the Magic. Is this Disney or is this Universal? Is it Universal?
Where was this guy from?
Well, I don't want to talk about it, Eric.
Magic Kingdom.
I don't want to talk about it because both these people from the Carolinas. Go ahead and say it.
Right. So
this guy's from North Carolina.
All of our commenters are like, "Oh yeah, that's Florida. That's what you get, Florida people." All these people are from out of state.
Well, maybe you guys are just a magnet for this kind of stuff. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know.
What about the two sisters who were caught fighting in Disney Springs? Were they from South Carolina as well? I kind of feel like they were.
Look,
so
I can't.
Maybe there's a problem with the Carolinas.
It could be.
No, they're from New Jersey. They're from New Jersey.
Oh, well, that makes more sense.
Okay.
Sorry, people who watch from New Jersey. No, but the story of this guy, he had a gun, and first of all, he said he was holding it for someone else. I don't think that holds water. I was holding this for someone else. If somebody else wants you to hold their gun, don't do it. That's crazy. And then the fact that he just took a bag of something and basically tried to swallow it before they could get to him. So apparently he had. Yeah, sure. You really want to fight.
He had really bad breath. He wanted to make sure that he was.
Yeah.
If you're to those arresting him.
If you're in a confrontation with the Orange County Sheriff, you definitely want to make sure that your breath smells right.
I would have just said it was leftovers from Tony's.
Oh, and then they would back away from you, wouldn't they?
It's chicken parmesan, yeah.
Yeah.
White and chalky. It's been a couple hours.
33 from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So, but again, I mean, it just seems like it was one story after another at the most magical place on earth. So I mean, I'm looking at this. I don't know. Is this a typical week and we just don't normally hear about this stuff, Eric?
there are in our country, I think, more guns than people. So I'm never surprised when somebody tries to bring a gun somewhere. It's just there's a lot of guns. A lot of people have guns. Sometimes I don't think the guy was planning on robbing the Emporium. I just think that there are people that are just used to carrying a gun everywhere they go, and they forgot, like, oh, by the way, I'm in a place where I can't carry a gun.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he wanted to steal that rhinestone castle at Crystal Arts.
Maybe
It was 50 grand for that thing, you know.
Desi, when you go to the parks, how many guns do you usually take with you? Typically,
At least one.
okay,
I
cool.
mean, you know,
Yeah.
you got to protect yourself.
No, absolutely. There are crazy people out there. You might as well make sure to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, Eric, you're absolutely right. This is not. I know I've put what's happening in Florida. I didn't say that it was Florida's fault, but it does seem like it's all happening in Florida. So I don't know what else to say on that one. But anytime that there is a weather incident, they always find the usually the crazy people to tell you about what happened, and there's usually no shortage of them down there, or I don't know. They're crazy people everywhere. I just think it's crazy that so much of it happened at Riverside. There you go. Because I like that place. So
That's a very expensive place to go on the lam, by the way. If you're planning on hiding out for a while.
Yeah. Let's
Maybe
move
he
on.
just wanted to listen to Yeehaw Bob one last time before he went.
That would be at French Quarter, right? Or is he at Riverside?
No, he's at Riverside.
Riverside.
Okay. So let's talk about Space Mountain, because we were talking about how iconic the Space Mountain is in Disneyland. Hyperspace Mountain is back. I got to tell you, folks, I love Space Mountain in Disneyland. And I told you, Eric, I think that there's probably a bunch of attractions. I think the better version is at Disneyland. And I think you would agree with that one with Space Mountain. But Hyperspace Mountain is my favorite, like, attraction overlay, probably only second to Nightmare Before Christmas, the Haunted Mansion Holiday. This is something I'm so excited is coming back. I assume it's for May the 4th, but also Star Wars Celebration is coming at the end of the month, Allie. Do you think this will stay through the end of the month at least?
No, they said it's staying through July 4th. So that was written down somewhere. I'm super, super excited. I was there Thursday. It was closed, and then Friday it was open. But I get to go Tuesday for Star Wars night, and I could not be more excited. So that will be first on my list.
Nice.
Yeah.
Desi, I know you're a huge Star Wars fan. Have you ridden this as Hyperspace Mountain before?
I was pregnant when I went to California, so I did not get a
Oh.
chance to ride it. So super bummed about that.
I'm surprised you didn't go, look, I can handle it. It's fine. Just let me on. And Eric, you've done this one before or no?
No, but I love Space Mountain at Disneyland so much. And when we went in March, we got stuck. Like the vehicle hit an emergency stop. They turned on the lights. They talked for a few minutes. Someone came up and they pushed us back down and let us go again. And that Space Mountain is so fun, especially compared, like in Florida right now, it's just pitch black. You're just riding around in pitch darkness. That one's more fun. They got a cool vibe. So I'm sure the Star Wars overlay for it is fantastic. I am contemplating making a trip out there just to do it.
Oh, absolutely you should. I mean, it is really cool, especially again for a Star Wars fan. When you start down and you turn the corner and you hear that music, that John Williams music pumping, it is pretty amazing. And again, I like their Space Mountain better. You know, someone who grew up on the East Coast and worked at Disney World and have been on Space Mountain, I don't even know how many times, and I love the attraction. I didn't realize how much better the one was at Disneyland until I went, and now, again, I'm okay if they were to keep it Hyperspace Mountain all the time, but I guess that's what makes it special sometimes, you know. Same thing with Soarin', when they do Soarin' over California for the food and wine just for a little bit, and then they take it back to the crappy version. But the difference here is that I don't think that there is a crappy version of this. I've never gotten to do Ghost Galaxy, but I think just
Ghost
regular
Galaxy's fun.
regular Space Mountain is pretty awesome, and then seeing this is pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to whatever they end up doing with the Avengers coaster, where they're taking the Rock and Roller Coaster and making it like the Avengers coaster out in Paris, because of the things I've seen them do with this Space Mountain. So that's pretty exciting. DuckTales. So we've talked about this before too. the Perry's World Showcase Adventure, or Agent P's World Showcase Adventure, and then before it, the Kim Possible, was a great, neat, free thing that you could do that would keep your kids busy, get them excited about, going into the countries that don't really have a lot of attractions. They're really just more shops and restaurants. But it was a really neat thing, I thought, that they did when they added that piece. And then they announced that they were going to do this Ducktales World Showcase Adventure. And this is another one of those things that feels like they could have been done with this already. And what we've heard rumored that this is still happening, even though we haven't heard them talk about it since D23 in 2019. And even though we don't have a DuckTales show on anymore, they're still saying that this could happen. And Eric, did you ever do Agent P, or did you do Kim Possible, and would you be excited about this, or do you think they just...
Yeah, I did a long time ago. Anything that's to have kids do while their parents are getting hammered, I think is great for Epcot.
Sure.
So the DuckTales thing is a little surprising. I would have thought they would have tried to push something like newer on us, I guess. Or maybe even do the new Rescue Rangers thing, or
Ooh.
Bluey.
Well,
how about Bluey? How about Bluey's World Adventure? World Showcase
let's do it. Let's get it going. You know what? I think that probably when they first thought about doing this, the DuckTales was going to be the beginning, and we talked about this a little bit when we did our review of Gummy Bears on 420. Yes, we did a review of Gummy Bears on Deep in the Plus on 420. But when we did that, and we were talking about this.
Gummies on 420.
Yeah, we did that. Check it out. It's on Unplanned Downtime. When we did this review and we were talking about this, I feel like this was supposed to be like the MCU reboot of the Disney Afternoon, that they were going to bring in Darkwing Duck and Chip and Dale and all of these other characters and create this recreate that universe. And so this seems like it would have been a great thing to do. I liked this show. It was different from the original show. Doesn't mean I liked it better or less than the original show. But I want this attraction back in some way, shape, or form, and it feels like something they should have done a long time ago. And again, Desi, I don't know if did you ever do that with the communicator that you had to dump back in a mailbox?
No, I haven't done the Kim Possible one or the Agent P one, but my kids are at an age where they love going to Disney World, but they can't do a lot of the rides. So I like the idea of them being able to have a little scavenger hunt that they can do. For example, when it was Festival of the Arts, we loved going around and finding the Figment paintings, and it was something that 2-year-olds can do. And they love Donald Duck. So even though they might not know Huey, Dewey, and Louie, they just love Donald. So doing anything Donald themed would make them super excited.
Yeah, well, and Coach as well. Coach Layton, who is on our panel from time to time, is a huge Donald fan. So let's just make him happy. Let's just
Rob,
get it done.
Just one of the funny things I remember seeing when it was the Kim Possible thing was witnessing a kid throw his mom's phone into the little receptacle outside of Mexico. Like
his mom's phone.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, the mom had to go find a cast member.
Well, and when they started it,
no.
they had those flip phones that were like Verizon has these left over, and they're going to let you use them as the communicator. They used them a little bit for Agent P, but then they were like, oh, we could just make this an app that we can install in the Play app, and you can just play it that way. And so it seems like they've already got all of this other stuff in line that they could go back and do. But that is freaking hilarious. And I'm sure that, they're like, hey, here, put this in the mailbox. Okay, boom. And then give me another phone. Let me go ahead and put that one in there too. I would have loved to have seen that. That was probably...
I didn't actually witness the kid putting it in there. I just saw the lady calling for a cast member.
Excuse me.
What happened. I tried to give her sympathy, but I was laughing on the inside.
I mean, it was really well thought out the first time when they did it, that you would get this device and you would go around and it would fire off things that would actually happen around you. Same as the Sorcerer of the Magic Kingdom, but there were physical effects. There was, Doofenshmirtz in the clock tower, or there was the robot baby from Kim Possible that would come out of the Tokyo display. I mean, there was a lot of neat things that you could do. You would see like a little rocket come off the pyramid inside of the Mexico Pavilion. So it was really neat, and it wasn't intrusive to the cultures. I don't think it was. It didn't feel like it. It was one of those things where if you were doing it, you saw it, and if you weren't doing it, you probably weren't paying attention and you didn't see it, so it didn't really ruin your time. So I don't know. I hope they bring this back. It's way past due for them to do this, especially since they haven't seemingly removed things like they did for Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. They've basically told us, no, this is never happening again. Sorcerers is done. We've removed everything. No more free cards for you. We hate you. That's what they've said. So one last thing I want to talk about is it's been 5 years since the world of Pandora opened up, and basically changed, I feel like, the way that we look at Animal Kingdom, because I think it has been a big deal. I think a lot of people love going in there, and even if you don't love Flight of Passage or don't love Navi River Journey, most people, enjoy eating at Satuli Canteen. Just the floating mountains are kind of amazing, and now they've got all this merch here for the 5 years. I love this little, see what they did there? They made it look like a 5, but it's really the waterfall. A lot of stuff for us to spend money on here in Pandora. I don't know. Do you guys have? And I'll start with you, Desi. Do you have any Pandora merch at all? Is it something that you get excited about, or not really?
I don't have any Pandora official merch, probably just because I don't like the movie Avatar. So therefore, I'm not super interested in the merch. I do have a pair of ears from a small shop that are moss wall themed. So if you aren't familiar with the moss wall, it's one of those Instagram walls, kind of similar to the purple wall or the bubblegum wall, or one of those other Instagrammable walls. So yeah. I do have a pair of moss wall ears. That's my only Avatar Pandora themed merch.
Eric, I know that you probably aren't a huge fan of the merch, but do you? Are you excited about the anniversary here?
I think that's one cool thing about Pandora, right? Is I'm sure when they inked this deal, they thought like, oh, this is a movie that made over $1 billion at the box office. Everyone loves it. It's really an IP that doesn't connect with a lot of people, but the backdrop for this land turned out to be such a nice idea that the possibilities, the combination of Joe Rohde and this sort of peaceful and naturey thing with these two attractions just was kind of a home run. Kind of unexpected, probably. I think a lot of people expected it to flop because nobody really connects with those IPs. So nobody really goes there for the merchandise. I know they probably sold a lot of Banshees. They sold a lot of stuff, but not like they probably could have with a better IP. But look at the land. Look how great it's turned out.
Well,
Let's just celebrate the land.
We get a little bit excited about this word. I don't know if you can read it there.
Sivako.
Sivako.
Rise to the challenge. So yeah, I mean, it's weird that it's 5 years old, because I feel like it took them 15 years to build it. And maybe we'll be thinking the same thing of Tron at some point. But I agree with you. It's one of those things where people seem to enjoy the land, but they don't really enjoy the source material. Because I can't.
It's like the opposite of Galaxy's Edge, where I will buy all of that merch.
But you don't really care for the land.
I mean, I know a lot of people would probably prefer if it was original trilogy themed as opposed to sequel themed.
Yeah, and here we have original movie theme for Avatar Land, and you don't care. How dare you? Maybe you guys will fall in love with it once they do the next 17 movies they're going to do, and now that Disney owns that, maybe it'll be a bigger deal, but who knows? All right, well, again, we've had a lot of news. There was a bunch of stuff we skipped, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about it on our post show. So thank you guys for watching tonight. We want to give a big shout out and a thank you to our WIGS members. We love our WIGS. Our WIGS is our WDWNT Interglobe Society. It's our Patreon program. If you want to learn more about it, and it helps us support all the people at WDWNT, come find out about it, patreon.com/WDWNT. Also, a lot of great programming on WDWNT's YouTube channel, so please make sure to subscribe. We're getting very close to 150,000, and I think it would make Eric very happy if we could just go ahead and hit that mark. I think he's got a bottle of bourbon specifically set aside for the day that we hit 150, and we're really close. Also, check out a lot of content we do on Unplanned Downtime, which is also a YouTube channel where we do a lot of cool additional content, including Deep in the Plus that we talked about earlier, and Disney Entertainment news today. Thank you guys again for being on here. We do have a post show for our WIGS members. That is one of the many benefits that we give to the people in the WIGS program, so thank you for that. One last shout out I want to give is Carousel Products. We have a shirt that we're giving 100% of the proceeds to the Disney Wildlife Conservation Fund, and it's of our good friend Rebecca, the male black swan. So there was, if you don't know the whole story, go to carouselproducts.com and you can check out and see the whole story about Rebecca. And again, all the proceeds from this shirt go to the Disney Wildlife Conservation Fund. So we are very excited to be supporting that. So thank you guys so much here for being on the panel. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for watching. And we will see you guys next Sunday night at 8 p.m. for more ParksCenter. Have a great week.